Well, hello viewers. Hey Ken, how you doing? Hey James.
Hey guys.
What's going on?
Not a whole lot. Y'all ready for some D&D tonight?
Get it on.
Good.
Been waiting to play since last week.
Yeah, that was kind of weird last week where in a way it's good. Everybody winds up, or a significant number of people wind up with something all being a conflict at the same time, and therefore you just, okay, we can just call off the session, because it feels like you'd have to go back, or at least at the point where we are in the game right now, you'd almost have to go back and do everything twice.
Yeah.
If you missed half of the group. So it just made sense to go ahead and postpone for a week.
So is there stuff that we acquired after that battle that we're going to divvy up during this night session? Is that what the plan is?
That's part of it. Part of it is figuring out what loot is there, and what information maybe you can find from what the cult leaders left behind. Okay. If there's anything of value that you guys would be interested in taking for yourselves, because the people who came in and rescued you did succeed in forcing the cult leaders to basically flee for their lives. So they likely didn't have a chance to get much out, if anything, what they had. So we'll probably do a little bit of exploring the map and figuring out what you all find there, and a little bit of that little bit of plot of what comes next.
And did we assume a long rest already?
We can probably start by getting a long rest. I don't think we had, but because we pretty much ended, if I remember correctly, we pretty much ended right at the end of the skills challenge. And, just with understanding that the eggs were destroyed, so that you didn't have a chance to do anything with them, one way or the other, or make a decision about them. That was made for you. And the two cult leaders that were still there got away.
Because we had leveled up, or I'm assuming we were supposed to have leveled up, or are we supposed to wait?
Yeah, we can you guys, I think I mentioned something about you guys leveling up to level 4. So if you have done that, that's great. If you haven't done that, then we will, when it's not your turn tonight, we'll have time for people to do that, because there's probably not going to be a big combat right away. All right. We are at 8 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead, kill the music. Hey, everybody, welcome. It is Thursday night. It is 8 p.m. I am DM Galabond, and I am joined on the Roll20 and on the Discord by Ivy as Belle, James as Mulek, Chris as Brock, Vernon as Osprey, Michael as Thaldor, and Ken as Falajur. And let's see, do we have Wesley tonight? No, okay. All right, and Chris. Chris is here as well. All right. How's everybody doing tonight?
James is good.
Everything going well for everyone? For those of you that were expecting us to play last week, sorry, we missed our regular Thursday night last week because several of the players all had conflicts that came up, or they were ill, one of the two. And with as many people as were going to be out, we just said, all right, let's postpone it and we'll come back to it next week. So we are on session 12. It's a jailbreak. Actually, it has been a jailbreak, and we now have the aftermath of said jailbreak. I am going to move us over to the map of where we have been, and I am going to recenter this. And I think what I can do, since we are at a point where the team has been rescued and the people from their allies from Greenest and other surrounding areas have come in, we can just go ahead and remove the fog of war from the entire map so that everybody can kind of see what's going on. All right. Yes, a few things that we need to be aware of. The kobolds are not there. So don't worry about those. These guards are not around. And these dragon claws are not around. And these two leaders, they have escaped. Let's just see. All right. Just ignore any enemies that you see on the field. Yes, these eggs, sadly, over here are all destroyed. Boink and boink. And oh, okay. That is nope. For whatever reason, it was on the wrong layer. That one is busted. Okay, I think. No. Yeah, there are a couple of people in the party that came to rescue you that knew enough to stay away from the violent fungi, so those are still there. But as long as you don't disturb them, you won't have any trouble with them. Otherwise, there's a couple of familiar faces. The priest from the priest of Shantae from Greenest is there, and Escobar, the dwarven Castellan from the keep there at Greenest. He is also there. And there's a force of people. They were about 50 strong, but 20 of them now lay dead as corpses after fighting with the cultists, and another 15 are wounded. They will recover, but they will require some rest or some magical healing or potions to get back into fighting shape. But the whole area here is pretty much cleared out, and I think you all should be able to control your own tokens. So I think what we will do is we will just start with the priest, Falcon Moon, I believe his name was, Brother Falcon Moon, where he will.
Yeah, Gideon Falcon Moon, I think, is what I wrote down.
He will come to you guys, and for the moment, we'll just go ahead and, for the benefit of the viewers, we will put up the slate here. And so Gideon will come to you all, and he will say, "Oh, that was a tough battle, but it looks like we have driven them out. Unfortunately, I think the leaders have escaped, but there were black dragon eggs that they were trying to hatch, and we have destroyed those, or they got destroyed in the fighting. Good riddance, I say. No more. We don't need any more of those monsters roaming around this part of the Sword Coast. It's bad enough to have the ones that are alive, but I am still a bit concerned. If there are black dragon eggs, that means there has to have been a black dragon to lay them. And I wonder where that one is. Are you all badly wounded, or is anybody in dire need of healing?
I don't think we know that. Has there been a short or long rest since the skills challenge?
I guess at this point, when he's first talking to you, we'll say no. But basically, nobody was unconscious. Everybody had hit points for that, right?
Yeah, I think we're like at quarter hit points for the skills challenge when it started.
Okay.
And it was a skills challenge, so it didn't actually take real hit points.
Right. So, yeah, and nobody has any condition like poisoned or ongoing damage or anything like that at this point.
You said there was something in the food. So
yes. Basically, what it was is they were giving you food that was tainted. Not tainted enough to make you actually sick, as in poisoned, but tainted enough to keep you kind of in discomfort and keep you from being able to get a good night's sleep. If you had gone too many more days, you probably would have started getting into exhaustion land. But at this point, you all were in captivity for just a couple of days. In fact, when you all were captured, it was Tarsak the Third, and when you were rescued, it is Tarsak the Fifth. So you all have been imprisoned for 2 nights, and it's the 3rd day now since you've been rescued. And So you guys, when he sees that you all are not in dire need, he says that they are setting up a camp out in the area where the cultists had their camp outside to tend to the wounded among the force, and then they're going to get busy on digging some graves for the people that have perished, and they will stay here long enough for everyone to have a long rest, and then they will make haste back to Greenest. He says he's very curious what, if anything, you all found out from your captors in terms of their plans, where they were going, what they were doing. So he will ask you all, and lead you out into the campground area, and to a tent where you can get some fresh water and wholesome food, so that you will be able to rest, and start peppering you with questions like that. So, did you all learn anything about our foes and what their plans are? He looks at those of you who are here to see what you may have found out.
They apparently have lots of shinies that they are too stuck up on, if you ask me.
Ooh. So, treasure. Did you perchance find any of the treasure that was stolen from Greenest here?
Dude, do you not see the condition we're all in, or are you like missing eyeballs? Like, I'll come and take some eyeballs. Like, I don't know, they might be tasty treats instead of eggs. You never know, right? Worth a try.
And then he looks to any of the rest of you.
I don't think we got much new info other than what we had gathered before. I think it was more of they were trying to take knowledge from us and what we could take from them. But I know that there's some internal. I think we heard there's some internal conflict between two of the leaders, and but I think last I heard they were heading north and gathering treasure.
Oh, well, that's something. They're headed north. Okay, so we at least know that the danger will be to the north. Perhaps we can get word. Perhaps we can get word to Baldur's Gate and up to Waterdeep to be on the watch for any such activity on its way north. That's a start, at least. Tell me, did you all discover where the leaders had their personal quarters?
I don't think we have.
If it was where our gear was located, I think we may have found part of it, but we haven't had much time to look through the area.
Oh, okay. Well, then go ahead and get yourself some rest. We will tend to the wounded that are most critically wounded, and when you have rested, we will accompany you through the area to see what they have left behind, perhaps, if there's any intelligence we can gather. Go on now, rest. We have guards posted outside. You should be safe here. And he will take his leave and give you all an opportunity to get a long rest. So, during this long rest, and like I was telling James a few minutes ago. If you've already done it before the session, that's great. If you haven't, this will be a good time to do so. During this long rest, all of the adventuring that you've experienced over the last few days finally kicks in, and you feel yourself now ready to rise to level 4. So if you've already leveled up your character to level 4, that's great. If you haven't, you will have some time when the spotlight is not on you to be doing that during the session. And then if you have questions about things, I would encourage you guys to message each other back and forth using the Discord to ask if anybody knows about something, and that way it won't interrupt what's going on the voice channel. If you run into something where you absolutely can't find something or nobody knows, then let me know and we'll jump out of what's going on in the voice channel for a little bit to look at those. So, we'll hand wave the long rest, unless you all want to discuss anything with each other during that long rest. Okay. Hearing none, we will go through the long rest, and we are now back to the dragon hatchery. And it is now now you guys pretty much can drive. I would ask that one person kind of take the lead and go ahead, tell me what areas you want to go to from the room where you were, and I will let you know what you find in those areas and put it into the Discord so you guys can figure out what sort of loot you have discovered. And if there's any information, I can let you know what you find.
Before we head out, I'm going to take about 10 minutes while we're gathering to gather my one of my instruments. It looks like a magnifying glass, but when I look through it, it detects magic.
Okay. Nice.
So I'll have that for about 10 minutes while I think it's about 10 minutes. After it's done, I'm done getting it out. I think it's good for about while we're walking through. Yeah.
Okay, well maybe if you're only going to have it for 10 minutes and you have to go explore this whole thing, maybe a good idea would be to get all the stuff together in one spot and then use it to look through everything.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, yeah. As then that way, because you might spend 15 minutes in the first room looking through stuff and then you don't have it for the rest of the...
I would just have to cast it as a ritual every time, but yeah, I'll wait till the end.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, you can do it either way, and we don't have to take the actual 10 minutes for you to do the ritual. We'll just say, okay, the party took the 10 minutes and this happened. All right. So who wants to be the explorer? Who wants to drive the exploration? All right, Mulek, you've been the talkative one. You're appointed.
Okay, I'm gonna head back to where we got our gear then.
Okay, so
it
over.
Might have been a leader's location. Yeah.
Okay, so over here, then let's get to area 11. Okay, you come in here and you can tell that this was Frulam Mondas' chamber. There's a writing desk and a stool, several tables with books and papers, and a mirror on a floor stand. There are 2 oil lamps that have long since burned out. Thick rugs cover the floor except for an area where they've been thrown back, and there's an open chute dropping down to area 9. Actually, you guys have seen that before because you were in here. I think you were in here following them around at one point before. And spread open on one of the tables is a simple map of the Greenfields area, showing villages that the cult has attacked and looted. An arrow is sketched from the Greenfields towards the west and the town of Baragast on the trade way, where the arrow turns north. There's a separate sheet of paper, and this stuff is just laying on top, so it doesn't even take any checks to find it. A separate sheet of paper covered with numerals in columns contains the note, "Everything must be freighted north to Neritar. Resmir allowed us to keep some pearls, a ring, and a handful of small stones." Other papers are of less interest. Most of them have bad poetry about dragons. So I am going to put this in the Discord for you guys, since you may want to refer to it later. This is the note that you found. All right. Then you find a trunk containing very fancy clothes for a woman of Mondas stature. And there is a second trunk that contains a lot of very fancy purple robes that have thread of gold embroidery that's all dragon iconography in it. And there is a very fine gold chain. And as you look at it, it's probably a base metal covered with gold leaf. But the interesting thing about the chain is that there is a key on that chain.
Okay. I'm going to suggest that we gather these items and put them in a location, and as we continue to find interesting items, we bring it back here and we can detect if any of this stuff is magical. I can do that. Do we find anything in the desk? Did you say there was a desk in here as well?
Yeah, the desk basically just has sheafs of papers. A lot of it looks like it's stationery that has not been used. There's a couple of pots of ink. There are 2 pots of black ink and 1 pot of purple ink. And there's a small box that has several quills in it with their nibs.
Could I tell if the paper and ink is of sufficient quality to use to copy scrolls in the future?
Do a... Let's see, what kind of a check would that be? Do an Arcana check, because that's related to scroll making and spellcraft and such.
Yeah.
8. You're not sure.
Are we together, or is it?
Oh yeah. You guys. I mean, unless you tell me that you're splitting up and going elsewhere. But everybody's been kind of quiet tonight, so I'm just nominating Mulek to drive.
You guys need to talk. It's like I'm by myself.
Hey, Mulek, why don't you let me look at that? What do you think?
Go ahead. I'm usually pretty good at Arcana, but maybe I'm still hungover from the other day.
Well, it's been a rough 48 hours. I can attest to that.
Says the person who goes woohoo in Master's bedroom, huh?
Yeah, Falliger, you look at it and you think it's kind of fancy writing paper, but it's not good enough quality to use for any kind of scrolls or anything.
Looks like this is just some premier writing stationery. Nothing magical about it.
All right. Yeah, it was worth a shot.
In fact, Falliger, as you investigate it, you notice it smells a little bit like lavender.
I'm detecting some notes of lavender and honeysuckle, I think.
Yeah, clearly it's girly writing paper.
Lavender blue. Lavender blue.
Then
what?
up.
I was doing Elvis singing Lavender Blue, which is a Disney song.
Oh, yeah.
Then up in this little area here, there's a couple of weapons racks, and there is a small armoire. And the armoire, when you open it up, it has some cloaks that are like the cult cloaks of the dragon. The weapon racks, they don't have any weapons, but they have some scabbards that have the dragon design on the scabbard. Looks like you could use those scabbards for either like a rapier or a longsword or something like that. So I don't know if anybody needs a scabbard for a weapon or if you think those might be useful to have. Because of the disfavor that the cult is in with most people, unless you found somebody that just sort of collected cultist memorabilia, they probably wouldn't be worth that much. So that would be, but they're serviceable. They would do if you need a scabbard for your own weapon. And then in the armoire, there's a couple of shallow drawers. And when you open one of those drawers, there is a little there's a little jewelry box type thing that as you pick it up, it clinks with coins and it's kind of heavy. And when you open it up, there's a total of coins, gold and silver, and a few platinum, and then some small gems. And all of that added up together is worth a total of 120 gold pieces. So we'll do that. Okay. All right. So where to next? And that where the flaps of the rugs were pulled back is right here. And you see this goes down. That chute goes down into this area here.
I'm gonna look down there. Does it look pretty safe to go in there, or is it sort of like you're getting on your hands and knees to crawl through, or?
No, there's actually a ladder built into the side and a rope to sort of, stabilize yourself on. So it looks like they used that ladder to go down to this lower level, whatever was down here. And as you go, if you go down, you notice that lower level is a little warmer, like that whole sort of misty area where all the fungus was. So you think it's kind of somehow connected with that, or maybe opens into that area.
And I'm assuming that this whole place is still dark unless we've got dark vision
Unless you
or
guys,
light source
unless
or
you
anything.
guys, yeah, unless you guys have your light sources. But everything has been killed or driven off, at least as far as everybody knows. They did tell you that they found a roper and they killed it, so there was one of those, but that's
So
dead now.
I will have cast light then, and for at least myself, since I don't have dark vision. So I will have had light going.
Okay.
Do you guys want to go down this ladder?
Where do you think it might go?
I don't know. We want to clear this place, right?
Yeah, I reckon so. Don't tell them what kind of secrets this place holds.
Yeah. So I guess I'll start climbing on the ladder into the other area.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize. I thought that was already on the map layer, but it was not. It was on the GM layer, so you couldn't see where that little hole was. All right. So you head in here. This cave is a shrine to Tiamat, but with an emphasis on her black dragon head and on black dragons in general. It also contains many Cult of the Dragon icons, and there's evidence that that an acid trap has gone off in here. Probably when your rescuers were fighting people.
Where are we at exactly? I'm having a hard time figuring out on the map.
Okay, let me go. Yes,
Right here where the light source is.
Yeah. James is moving his light source around, so... oh, wait a minute. That's weird. Okay. I wonder why I'm not seeing that on...
I just moved my TV.
You know what? I think I have done... There we go. I screwed something up. Okay, now you guys can see the aura from the light. I had it where I could see the aura from the light, and maybe James could as well, but nobody else could. All right. So,
So there's a lot of relics and stuff in here, or
it's mostly tapestries and paintings and things, designs that are on the wall. So the couple of interesting points about it. This chamber has been enlarged and reshaped from its original form. The floor and 3 of the walls are smooth, and stalactites and stalagmites have been polished into gleaming columns. Every surface glistens with moisture, and the air is warm and humid. Flat walls of the chamber are decorated with shallow, abstract carvings of dragons. Dragons' tails coil into intricate patterns and knots that flow across the walls. The creature portrayed in the northwest corner stands out, a 5-headed dragon rising from an erupting volcano. Other dragons, which seem dwarfed by the 5-headed monstrosity, flock to its side. A small wooden chest with silver and mother of pearl inlays sits on the floor in a corner in front of the monstrous dragon carving.
Here are its offering.
My, that's one hell of a tapestry.
Actually, I guess it's more of a carving than a tapestry.
Wow.
Do these carvings look pretty fresh, or are they like ancient?
Oh no! They are well maintained, and they might be rather recent.
What do you reckon's in that chest over there?
I don't know. If it was an offering, I imagine it's probably something good. Guess we should check it out.
Offering made by kobold. May not be.
Well, it's a silver inlaid chest, so it's kind of valuable, I guess.
Can I? Someone want to look at it to see if it's safe to open?
Yes.
I can do it.
You can make a You can make a check. You want to check to see if
If it's safe to open, if there's any, if it's trapped.
There's any traps. Yeah, go ahead and make me a perception check, please. Oh, okay. Yes, you can tell that there is a trap, but the trap has already been triggered. The chest is not opened, but the trap has already been triggered. If you look at the carvings with that perception, you will notice that all the carvings of black dragons, and it seems like there's quite a few carvings of black dragons, they all have a little like pinhole in the mouth, and it looks like acid has sprayed out of that into this area. Now, surprisingly enough, even though this chest was probably in the blast zone or splash zone of that acid, it hasn't been damaged by it. So maybe it's somehow protected from acid.
Well, I guess I'll go up and open it up.
Well, do you reckon it's trapped?
It's not trapped anymore, right? It's not armed. Not.
The trap has been triggered, so yes, it doesn't appear to be armed anymore.
Yeah.
That trap would probably have to be reset.
Yeah, I think that there was a trap, but it's not trapped anymore. And I point out the pinholes where acid would have come out. So I don't think it's. I'm hoping. I don't think it's trapped anymore. I don't think it is.
Snaky.
I'll walk up and open it up.
Okay. It is locked.
Anyone got? I got thieves' tools. Can I try and unlock it?
Who aren't you like our thief, sort of? Or where's?
No, we're missing Mike. He's not here. Oh, Thaldor, are you?
Isn't Bill? Aren't you roguish in a sense?
But I'm an artificer. I get stuff with artificer, so I've got a thieves' tools.
Yeah, I would count myself as somewhat stealthish, yeah.
Okay. You guys found something a few minutes ago. If you
Perhaps
remember.
use of key.
Oh, key.
Yes, in fact, looking at the chain, the key that's on the chain, that key looks like it probably fits this lock on this chest.
thinking too hard, guys. I think we've got a key.
You have been through a very traumatic experience, Malachston.
Okay, so you open the chest, and inside you find a string of pearls that looks quite valuable, a gold and sapphire ring that looks really valuable, and a pouch containing half a dozen masterfully cut and polished precious stones. So precious stones, that means that you can determine what those are, but they're worth 100 gold each. Yeah, so this is what you find in the chest. Inside the chest. Okay. And I'm just putting the value in there because once you get it appraised, you would realize that that's what it's worth.
Oh, okay.
But
That
we'll
gold-
try and
Go ahead.
But we'll try and sneak our way and grab the thing of stones and look at them and try and sort them by color on the floor right next to the chest while you guys are still looking at the stuff inside the other
Hey.
stuff inside the chest.
Get your hands off, Beryl. Come on. We'll get all this stuff, and then we'll see if any of this is magical, and then we'll figure out how to divvy it up.
Bo will raise her teeth and almost snarl at him as he tries to take her little shinies away.
All right, now. Bale, you can have one of them, so pick one now.
She'll pick the one, the most golden see-through-ish one that she could find.
Okay, so put down, I believe, yes, there's actually a thing in the DMG. Treasure, gems, treasure. Okay, well, types of treasure. Where's gemstones? Gemstones. I was about to say one thing, and then I realized that those are generally purple and not golden. Colors of...
Or red gem works perfectly fine, too. Like a ruby.
Sorry, Belle, you're going to have to wait till the next jewel hoard that we come across.
Okay. Yes. You find a 100 gold piece golden sapphire.
Belle would happy with the new prize and says, "No, I want this one," as she raises it up and says, "Can I at least keep this one?"
Go ahead.
Belle will smile happily and then bat it around the room.
And,
Okay.
Well, and when she does that, I look over at Falliger and I said, "That one's cursed anyways." And I say it loud enough so that Belle can hear me.
Okay. Well, okay. Now that's interesting because I see Thaldor in the...
Yeah, he's in roll 20.
But I don't see him in... Okay, so I'm just going to do this. Okay, I just sent him a message in roll 20. So maybe if he gets that, he will know. Oh, wait a minute, we've started. All right. So that's what you found in here. Where to next?
I guess to the east. Falliger, do you think that's a good way to go? Down these stairs?
Well, it has gotten more humid the further we go, so I reckon this is probably getting close to where they keep the eggs.
Yes, in fact, over here, you in fact do see the corpse of a.
Oh, what's that?
You do see the corpse of a roper over there. Okay.
What is that? Holy cow!
Yeah, where it's been hacked on by a lot of people, and you do see 3 large black eggs that have been destroyed. So let me describe what those are. There's also some lizard things, some corpses of some of those lizard things. 3 dragon eggs. Each one is about 3 feet tall and probably weighed around 150 pounds. And they have been shattered, and 2 of them, the contents kind of looks like it was kind of runny and spilled across the floor. The third one, there's sort of the half formed embryonic figure of a dragon that you can see spilled out of one of them, laying still. It is quite dead.
Well, I guess we found the dragon eggs. Would they have told us that they had come in and destroyed these during the battle?
Yeah.
Okay, so we would have known. All right.
They did.
Yeah.
Well, it's one less thing that we had to do.
Anything else interesting about this room that we can determine?
Other than that and the there's probably there's a couple of interesting things. There are corpses up here in this little alcove over here. There are corpses of some kobolds. And within about 20 feet of that, you see the sticky remains of some strange alchemical creations that looks like the kobolds may have been trying to use those as weapons. And they threw them out there, and they landed on the ground, and maybe they exploded in some way.
And this is like down a little.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like a little ladder that they could climb up, but
Can I go and I want to go and examine those items?
yeah, sure. Give me a investigation check.
While he does that, Bal would kindly snap the horns off the kobolds and try and beat me up. You know what? I'm gonna beat you up. She's still somewhat traumatized from all the kobolds coming around her and beating her on the table.
Okay. All right. You discover, Mulek, that one of these, or one type of item, looks to have been some sort of a glue bomb. Some kind of leather case filled with some sort of alchemical substance that, when it gets exposed to air, it forms a very sticky resin type thing, and it spreads out in a pool like about 10 feet wide and about an inch thick. And the thing is, if your foot happens to be there and it spreads around it, well, then it's going to be really hard to pull your foot out of it. Or if you step into it freshly after it goes off, you're going to almost get stuck in it in the same way you might get stuck in a giant spider's web.
This looks very interesting.
Yeah, you look around and you can't find any that are intact, but clearly these kobolds either knew how to make them or somebody made them for them. So you could figure out maybe something about those. And then there's an area where there's a couple of areas where there's like a 5-foot circle of soot, where it looks like they must have thrown something that exploded in fire. Although all of it is burned up, there's not much left. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Somebody was going to say something.
So that's all we see down in this area, right? Okay. Do we know anything about this roper? Like, is there anything that we can glean from it, or?
I guess anybody who wants to can give me a nature check. See what maybe you have heard about ropers.
Ropers live upstairs from Jack Tripper.
Oh, jeez. Three's Company.
Oh, my God.
I think you just lost inspiration if you had it.
Yeah, if you had inspiration, not anymore. No, okay. I'm not going to do that to you, but... Hey, mister, don't you come into my game and make the bad puns. That's my territory. You guys are supposed to make the good puns. I'm the one that makes the bad puns.
Well, you should find out what a pun is first, because that's not...
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that is, but it's not a pun.
I guess it's a pop culture reference. An old culture reference.
You know much about ropers there, Mulek?
I don't know. I rolled an 18.
Ooh. 18. Okay, between the 18 and the 21. Yeah, you guys know. Okay, that ropers are creatures that are native to the Underdark. They normally appear like a stalagmite or a stalactite, and they have several long, fleshy tendrils that they can extend out like some kind of elastic and wrap around a victim, and then pull that victim towards it, and pull that victim towards its gaping maw. It usually has one eye situated above its mouth, and the mouth is filled with very, very sharp teeth.
Can we tell if there's, if we were to cut it open to see if there's anything valuable inside of it?
Yeah. Yeah, you can.
All right, I'm going to start hacking at it. I'm going to try and cut it open, see if there's anything valuable in there. Armor, weapons, treasure.
Okay. Then I'm going to say what is... Okay. There's a that, and that, and that. All right. So that...
Bowser will help him.
and that.
We might find something useful in that. These things will swallow anything.
This thing looks pretty big. I mean, it's had to have eaten something.
Okay. You cut it open and you look, and you don't find anything. Now, Falliger, your check was good enough to let you know that sometimes ropers, or that, let me back up a minute. Ropers' digestive tracts are able to digest just about anything that they eat, with the generally accepted exceptions of platinum, gemstones, and magic items. But you do not find any platinum nor gemstones nor magic items in this thing.
Falliger explains that as we're going through the body.
However, one thing that does trigger in your mind, Mulek, something you have learned, is that because it's so caustic, a roper's digestive juices are very valuable, fetching a high price from alchemists who can use them as a solvent. So you can probably, if you have some vials or some things like that, it would probably have to be glass or something of that nature, or maybe ceramic. You could collect some of the digestive juices from this thing.
Yeah, I don't unless I come across any vials in this
Okay.
this area, in this location.
Yeah. Now that it's exposed to air, it's going to begin evaporating. But
Actually, hold on. In my alchemist tools, what do I have? I probably have some vials in my alchemist tools, right?
you probably do.
Alchemist. Sure. How many beakers?
Roll a d6 for me.
Yeah. Okay. Let me.
Okay, you can lay your hand on 6 alchemist tools, or six vials that would be appropriate for collecting this. So what I want you to do is I want you to make me 6 dexterity checks, and we'll see how many of those are sufficient to actually collect digestive juices without spilling it.
Just straight dexterity.
Your dexterity check. Wait a second. Let me look at your character and see what your skills are, Mulek. Mulek character sheet. Okay. You know. Okay. Yeah, it's probably because it's delicate work, it would probably be a sleight of hand check.
Okay.
But that's the same as a dex check for you.
Yeah, 3. All right.
Could I, since I've been assisting him, can he not have disadvantage on it or something?
Okay, you can roll a sleight of hand check, and if your check is high enough, you can give him advantage. Okay, so you have advantage then on your 6 checks. Okay. Okay. The target you were looking for is 15. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes. No, 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. So you're able to get 4 vials of roper digestive juices.
Awesome.
So we're gonna
Thanks,
say
Falliger, for the help.
No worries. Is that valuable stuff?
Yeah, from what I recall in my studies as an artificer alchemist, this stuff's pretty valuable.
Yep. You get to a decent sized town, you can probably go to an alchemist shop and see what they would buy it from you, how much they would pay to buy it from you, or what they might be able to trade you for it,
Okay.
depending on what
does
you're
it
looking for.
smell like?
Doesn't smell good. It's horrible. Oh,
It smells like roper puke. And considering that this roper has probably been eating mostly rancid meat and the stray kobold, that puke probably smells pretty bad.
I just
Pretty
went
good.
around crawling kobolds, and you guys find this yucky thing to pull apart? Ugh, these things are disgusting.
well, I think we're done here. We can. Belle, where would you like to take us next?
She'll hold her nose and then up and look away as she'll gnaw on one of the bones of the kobold. No worries.
Okay.
So it looks like this is a dead end. So it looks like we've got to go back. I think there was a ladder or steps up this.
Yeah, there's stairs over here. Oh, what? Dang it. So yeah, there you can go up this way. Okay, now there is a tunnel. Once again, it's hard to tell that this is not on the map layer. Whoops. Okay, so I'm going to go to the map layer here, and I'm going to put that to the back. All right. That to the back. That to the back. That to the back. Okay. Fudge. Okay. Well, take it as read because the stupid thing is being annoying. That there's basically a little tunnel that connects here to over here. And you're not going out into this area here. You're continuing into that area. Okay. Area 8. Okay, it's clear that these are kobold barracks. It looks like this was once a natural cavern, but it's been enlarged and smoothed in a crude manner. Thin mattresses of straw covered with badly cured furs form small beds that are haphazardly positioned around the chamber. Rats and small lizards scurry through the food scraps and moldy wineskins littering the floor.
I don't see any pouches or things that look like what we had found exploded in that other area.
You do not. However, as you're looking around, as you all are searching the room, it turns up this. I'll paste it into Discord. Okay, 38 gold, 152 silver, 704 copper pieces sorted into 88 stacks of exactly 8 copper coins each. Not sure what the significance of the 8 is, but they apparently really liked 8 for some reason. Dozens of dragon-themed talismans and amulets are carved from bone, soapstone, wood, and ivory. Workmanship on most of them is terrible, but 4 of them have a unique, if savage, artistic flair. And if you take them to a collector of artistic oddities in a major city, you could get 50, 60, 70, and 100 gold pieces respectively from them. Or 10 gold pieces from any other merchant.
Well, it looks like these could be valuable to somebody.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Well, let's
Interesting.
keep moving, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So
As we're moving
then-
along, little bits and bones of kobolds and things are dropping behind us, leaving a trail.
Okay. In here you find this area stinks like a latrine, and you see lizard scat all over the place. Large lizard scat.
Oh, do we see any large lizards?
Several of them are dead.
Oh, okay.
But
Keep looking. I'm gonna come over here and look in the corner.
yeah, it's all the same.
Okay.
Not really anything exciting over here.
Looks like they're keeping lizards as pets.
Yeah, I mean you saw some of those big lizard
Oh,
things
those lizards.
around.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Looks like it's a barn. What did you find?
I find bite marks of one when I woke up.
Yes. He had gotten bitten by one. Okay, over in this area, you see a bunch of guano on the floor in this area. Some bat guano, and you also see the forms of several of those dead sturges. In fact, several of them looks like they had their beaks hacked off, so they possibly were feeding on somebody when they got killed. You could imagine perhaps some of the people that came to rescue you, some of the deaths might have been because they got attacked by sturges. And then back in this area here, this area of the cave looks like it's a trash dump. Along with the normal sorts of refuse, such as broken pottery, rotted baskets, and mouse-chewed rope, they've thrown out some items that appear useful from a distance. Discarded clothes, worn boots, tattered books, cracked lamps, and so forth.
Oh, books. Can I go check out the books?
Yeah, you go to them and you realize that any books that are in here are really have been rendered useless because they've been dumped in with other trash, so they've gotten wet, and in some cases they're soiled with foul looking or smelling stuff. And there is a very, very noticeably foul stench that seems above and beyond just normal trash. And it's not really the smell like dead bodies or anything, but it's just a really bad stench.
Can I tell? Can I tell what's causing that stench?
Yeah. Make me a nature check. See if you recognize what that stench is. Oh, yeah. In fact, you remember somebody describing this smell to you. This is the smell of creatures that are called troglodytes. Troglodytes are basically carnivorous subterranean humanoids that they live in areas usually that are kind of halfway between the surface world and the Underdark. And they tend to be scavengers and opportunistic killers. And the stench, you understand probably the stench is here because they probably come here and scavenge in the garbage.
Oh, these creatures reek.
Yeah.
I want to go to one of those books that look. I want to get some of those books that just look like they're soiled, and I want to. I'm gonna try to cast prestidigitation on a couple, or on one of them, but I have to use my my hat, my cloak cap. So I have to roll something. I think I have to roll a. What do I have to roll? I have to do a DC 10 intelligence arcana check to see if I can actually cast it. Okay, so I cast prestidigitation on one of the books.
Okay. You cast prestidigitation and you clean it up. When you clean it up, you realize that it has been very badly kind of rotted by the environment it's been in. And even though it's cleaned up, it's still not legible and there's nothing worthwhile.
That was worth a shot.
Yeah.
And I used my Head of Wizardry one time. Okay. All right. I guess I'll come back down out of that stenchy area and
Okay.
come over here, this area.
All right. And into this area, you find at the base of these steeply descending steps, a curtain, a leather curtain hangs across the passage. It's made from hundreds of heavy leather strips, each about the width of a human hand. The strips are fixed to the ceiling and are long enough to drag on the floor. Curtain extends from wall to wall. Leather comes from a variety of local animals and is badly cured. The curtain is several layers thick with no gaps, so you can't see through it at all.
You're talking about a curtain right here?
Curtain that is, yes, right here at the bottom of the stairs.
All right. So so I would have pushed it aside and looked in.
Okay. When you push it aside, very cool air flows out from inside there. And the smell of old blood assaults your nose. The floor is covered in dried puddles of it. Floor-to-ceiling columns are spaced across the chamber, and chains have been strung between them like clotheslines. Animal carcasses hang on hooks from the chains. You see gutted and skinned antelope, deer, goats, what might be big, like predatory cats, and even a few small bears. Some of this meat has been here for a while. The smell is a reliable indicator. It seems like this chamber somehow naturally stays cool. And the leather just sort of keeps that cool from escaping. And they store a bunch of meat in here for some purpose.
This looks like they stored food for their animals or maybe for themselves. And I can't tell what's causing the room to be cool.
No, it just is. There are occasionally caves maybe that are over a deep a deep source of cold water or something that where they stay naturally cooler, and by blocking it off, they were able to keep the cool in here and not have it escape into the rest of the complex.
All right, Bill. I think we've done all we could looking around this area. I think this is the last room.
Yeah, anybody who wants to can give me a I guess a wisdom check in this room before you guys leave this room. Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking investigation check, which I already did.
A straight wisdom?
Yeah, straight wisdom. Yeah. Okay. Osprey, I didn't see your investigation. I can go ahead and use your investigation for this. Yeah, between you and Mulek, the two of you deduce that, well, they might have used some of that meat for themselves, but they probably were saving the bulk of that for when those eggs hatched, to have a ready supply of meat to give to the dragon hatchlings. Because those things, of course, would be ravenous. And, you guys aren't in the habit of, raising dragons from the egg, but you could imagine that 3 dragon whelps could probably eat this much meat in not too long of a time.
Dragons might have hatched soon. This was longer term plan than I thought.
Before we head back, I want to go ahead and cast my detect magic, and I want to kind of run back through really quick and just quickly glance, especially where I saw large piles of refuse and things that I didn't want to go digging through, and just looking through my magnifying glass, it allows me to see any kind of magical auras within 30 feet of me to see if there's anything that I pick up that I might have missed before heading back to where we started.
Okay. No auras in these areas as you pass through them.
Okay.
Mulek-san, I see nothing from Greenest here.
Yeah, it looks like we've explored it pretty well. Perhaps we ought to get ourselves a hot meal and a comfortable place to sleep.
I think there may be another place. So many of them were still here, but we only retrieved effects of a few. This was cave for leaders, but nothing from Greenest. There may be another place in this camp.
Well, remember, I think we had heard that many had already started heading north. Didn't we hear that they had already sent some north, and we were surprised that there were some still here? Because remember, there were a whole lot more cultists
Yes.
before we showed up. So I think they may have already filled wagons and taken a lot of that stuff up north.
Yes. In fact, you have 2 clues that if you look at your Discord, you have a clue that you found that was written along that matches up with a clue that you found when you use that key.
Yeah, Resmer. So Resmer had already left some pearls, a ring, and some stones for those that were still here. So I think the bulk has already been departed. They've already left.
Meaning that they are going there with full wagons?
Well, they were heading north. So I think everything that they have, I think they're just going north. And if they come across towns, whatever that they want to ravage, I guess they will ravage. But I think they still ultimately need to get all the treasure to the north somewhere.
Yeah. I need to.
I mean,
I need to
especially
remember your guys. Osprey. Yeah, Osprey, you would probably think as you look at that note and you think about that note and the stuff that you found in that little chest, yes, it probably means that everything else was loaded on wagons, so those wagons heading north probably would be loaded with treasure.
Right. But if they go there, they can't sell it and then raid the same city. You would sell it or raid the city.
should we go back to that main room, and I can can cast detect magic on all these items to see if there's any magicalness in these items that we did find?
Sure. Just go ahead and bring everything back over to
Yes, come over here.
this area here. And you do your ritual and you use your magnifying glass, and there's nothing that's glowing. It all looks like it's mundane.
Nothing magical, guys. Just some valuables.
Mm-hmm. So, after you all have had a chance to explore this area and gather that loot, and I guess it would have happened once you wake up from your long rest, you realize that the folks that came to rescue you, they have finished burying their dead, and Brother Falcon Moon has done blessings over the grave or graves where they were buried, and they've also lit a pyre and burned the remains of the kobolds and the cultists and everything else that they found here, obviously with the exception of the bodies that you found inside. So the whole procession heads back to Greenest, and on the way, Brother Falcon Moon will and Escobar will question you about what you found in there. And when they look at the note, and they see those things, they say, "Oh," they say, "Well, did you find these items that were mentioned in this note? Did you find the pearls and the ring?"
Yes, we did.
Okay, well, when we get back to town, we should let the governor have a look at it, because I remember, and this is Escobar, I remember that in the morning after the attack, one of the leading families came to us and said that there was a ring. I believe it was if memory serves, I believe it was a ring that is gold and sapphire that was stolen by the cultists. So I suppose it's too much to hope that the ring mentioned in that note is actually treasure from our town, but we'll have to see.
Okay.
So, you guys head back, and as you tell them about what you found in terms of the note, they will agree that probably that means their wagons have headed north across the green fields towards the city of towards the city of Baragost. And the green fields are just, big rolling plains that are in this entire region. So you can take the roads and get to Baragost by backtracking the route that your caravan took, or you could head out from Greenest and go. But first things first, you get back to Greenest, and when you arrive in Greenest, it is the evening of the 5th of Tarsak. And everybody who came to rescue you is extremely exhausted, and you guys are still kind of recovering your strength. And we are going to take our break. And it is 29 after the hour. So let's go ahead and come back at, we'll come back at 40 after the hour. And we will resume and see what you guys want to do after you talk with Governor Nighthill and learn perhaps what anything that they have been able to discover here.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and put the music on and put the slate up for the viewers.
Is Chris here tonight?
I mean,
Yeah.
he's quiet.
Yeah, I was kind of AFK when you guys went off, and then when I got back, I didn't want to interrupt, so I just let you do your thing.
Nah, I mean, we thought we were all alone. We were hoping for help.
I was listening the whole time.
Well, it sounds like we're not going to be able to keep these gems if we, tell the people we found them. At least the ring.
Belle already has her gem. She's happy.
But I don't mind. I mean, they came and rescued
Who'd the ring
us.
belong to again?
We don't know yet. We just found a gold and sapphire ring that they believe it belongs to some family in Greenest that was stolen from them. I'm just putting it in the party loot, and then if we decide to turn it over,
Yeah, we
Take
might
it
as
out.
well. It might lead to something better.
yeah, I mean, I'm not a believer in stealing from people
Maybe we can get a
unless
bounty.
they deserve it.
These people just let the shinies get taken, and it's not my fault. It's my hands now, is it? Exactly. I didn't think so. So you know what? This is my beauty named Betsy.
So what does Ivy look like? I mean, Belle look like she's just like patches of hair, completely bald spots, or what? Skabold's
Some
worked her
patches
over.
of hair are shorter than others. Blood stains all over her body. Whenever she lets her claws come out, you can see multiple claws with not
Yeah.
fully grown and just snapped off. And
She's got matted hair and stuff. We got have to force her to the bath so she doesn't get mange.
good
I'll be
luck
right back.
trying to make her take a bath.
I'll be right back, guys.
What'd you say, Ivy?
Good luck trying to make her take a bath. But on the condition she's in, she'll probably let you. Reluctantly, but she'll allow it. Still hates water. Come on.
That's a bad cat.
No, it's some bad water.
Bad cat.
Bad water.
Bad cat gets wet in the bad water, shakes it off everywhere, and gets really bad for everybody.
See, that's because it's bad water, not bad cat. Bad water gets stuck on cat. Cat just wants up. Bad water shakes everywhere, makes everything wet and dirty.
What the hell happened to what's his name? He's usually always here.
Josephine?
I don't know.
Well, I
We
know
probably
that.
should talk. We got to talk more because he's not here, so we'll have to make an effort.
I know that he was streaming and then he went to go take a nap, and I guess he just didn't wake up. That's my only guess.
Yeah, this is unusual Mike behavior. Mike, this is not like Mike. And
Mike.
Mike would probably be the one that would do this looting thing, which is part of what's dragging it. Also, it's a looting thing, which is most.
Yeah, I wasn't really. I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't feeling that particular. Maybe I was just ready to get the hell out of there. I don't know.
I thought we'd be starting the next chapter or whatnot when we start today.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not.
Not what?
Not optimal for coming back after having a week off.
Sorry.
It's like, well, it's all your fault because you're a bad cat.
I'm not a bad cat, it's just bad water.
Bad kitty.
No, not bad kitty. Kitty just wants snacks.
Bad cat wants to loot the whole place. Bad cat went over every inch
Bad
of it,
cat just took cobalt bones and dragged them across the place.
which is also bad.
No, but it's Kobold's fault because they're bad. Kobold's bad. Kitty, good. I can tell I'm not selling you guys on this.
Well, Kenneth has no idea what this even is.
To be honest, neither do I.
Yeah. I started it months ago, and it doesn't really have a point. Actually, you started it. You inspired it.
Duh, I'm the only cat. I think I'm the only one with a cat that's loud enough to be heard. So she's going through one of her phases again, which is great.
And Osprey is morose.
Huh?
And Osprey is morose, which also drags it out.
Well, what?
Morose.
What?
Morose.
No, what? What? What does it mean?
It's a variation on.
Look,
sad.
even you don't know what it is.
That's what's dragging it out. That's the point. No, it's a variation on sad. It's a low energy form of sad. Yeah, it's the low energy form of sad. So love and energy has become low energy and sad. So he's been
what's
dragging
sad?
himself along. Oh yeah, Osprey is very sad.
No, Belle's sad. Her fur has been ripped out.
Yeah.
I have permanent damage that won't last me for I don't know, 5 days.
Well, except the Belle's being mad.
Your bruises and stuff will go away in a week. Besides your wings, that must have hurt. Very hurt. Much hurt.
Did they do anything to the wings? I don't think they did anything to the wings.
No, but
Oh, the beatings.
magically sprouting on your back for the first time, possibly. That must hurt.
Oh, probably, but he was already in pain when that happened, so it was yeah, that was undersold.
So did you get your wings at 4th level then for Osprey?
I believe they were 3rd level, and it didn't show.
Oh, okay.
And he didn't show until that one scene.
Oh, okay.
And Flint flied yet, except for on the broom.
Does
Yes.
it hurt when Belle bites on your wings? Because she did that. I didn't get any comment. I'm like, shit.
Was that in text? I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, it was in text.
Oh, okay. I probably missed that one. I'm working on one computer, and then the other computer bounces between Discord and Roll20. So if something is going on at all, I can miss stuff like that.
No, I just see myself now, even in this game and other games that I have. I've just been so used to being not really talking instead of texting, so I normally try and stick to texting instead of talking. So it's kind of awkward for me to switch back to talking because Mike's not here, which is okay, this is extremely even more weird. So
Yeah, Mike must have slept or something.
yeah, I know he took a nap before the game, and I'm guessing he just missed his alarm or something.
Yeah, because I think normally his normal shift is a night shift, and Thursday nights is one of the nights he has off. So
He was excited for the game and everything tonight, so
yeah. Well, it's easy if you've been gearing up and doing a lot of work and stuff in an overnight shift. It can be easy to just keep sleeping right through something. All right. I have 40 after. I want to say welcome to our viewers, Drats, Turbo, nice to have you guys along tonight. Thank you for joining us. All right. So, you guys get back to the lovely town of Greenest. And instead of putting Greenest on the map, we're just going to go over to the slate here. And I am going to pull us off of the break slate. All right. So, you guys are all up here on the screen, and you have the opportunity to interact with several of the townsfolk. I am going to look for
In Greenest. Okay. Osprey does have something to do in Greenest.
We did get all of our gear back, right?
Yes, you did. Hey, welcome. All right, so let's take a look here and see. Where is Night Hill, Night Hill, Night Hill, Night Hill? Oh, well, phooey. You should be there. You should be there. All right. Well, never mind. Tarbaugh, Night Hill. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Oh, no. Oh, he doesn't have a token. That's why I can't find him. Doesn't have a token, he just has an image. Okay. No, not really. I don't really want to share the handout because that will tell you all about his. Yeah. All right. Well, then I guess we won't show him. All right. The governor and Escobar and a couple of other leading folks from the town, they are very interested in your report. They, if you show them the ring and the pearls, there are two families in Greenest that will identify that the ring came from one of the families, and the string of pearls is something that was also reported missing. The family that lost the ring, they lost pretty much everything else. They did have a cellar with a strong box in it, and while they are loath to part with much money, the sapphire and gold ring was their wedding ring, and so they will offer to pay the party 300 gold if you all will return that to them.
Yeah,
That's obviously not what it's worth, but
I think we discussed we would hand it over.
Okay.
I think we found what you're looking for. I reach out and I show them the ring.
And the woman, she sort of breaks down in tears. She's an older woman in her maybe late 50s or early 60s. and she's there with her husband, and she breaks down in tears, and she grabs the sleeve of your cloak there, Mulek, and she says, "Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. We lost nearly everything. This is the only thing I have left from the time that my Elmer asked me to marry him. It's been with us these 40 years that we have been married. Oh, thank you, thank you." And the husband brings over a pouch, and it's a rather small pouch, but when you look into it, it's filled with platinum pieces. And he says, here's 300 gold worth of coin. Thank you. We will. The rest of what we could salvage, we will have to use to rebuild. But it's worth paying to get this back. Thank you so much.
Not a problem.
Osprey. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out how this inventory would be arranged. Can we just say he has a bag? Regular sized bag? Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's as the editions of D&D have gone on, things that are important for narrative, it's important to put them on your character sheet that you have them. It's not so important to say how you're carrying them. But it's like if there was a key that you found in one city, and you're like, oh, okay, that's a cool key. And then you get to another city and you realize that key is something you need. If you say, oh, I have that key, well, you better have it in your character sheet. You don't have to say it's in my third, it's in the third belt pouch.
It's not like that. Okay, so Osprey is going to take his backpack.
Okay.
And he's going to go through it. And he gives the man the backpack. And he says, look in this when you get home.
Oh. Okay. All right. Now, out of character, if you're thinking that there's anything that you guys found in that cave that you would have put in that backpack and you're giving it away, that would normally be party treasure, that's probably something you want to discuss with the other players before you just unilaterally decide to do that.
It's not from party treasure.
Okay, all right.
Can I leave a kobold bone for them in the bag? I'll take the silence and no, don't do that.
No. They're not interested in anything, any kobold remains.
But they're tasty treats, I swear.
No, these are humans. They're not tabaxi. They don't have the same taste as tabaxi do in terms of snacks. In fact, there's a lot of people that kind of look at Belle a little bit odd, and half of them are a little frightened of her, and half of them are just curious what the hell she is, because they don't see many tabaxi in this part of the Sword Coast. You generally find them more down in Chult, and Chult is still considered a pretty exotic area that not many people have heard much about at this point in the history of the Sword Coast.
I have sent you on Discord the contents of the backpack. It is not worth worth stopping the game for.
Okay, excellent. That is cool. All right. Go ahead and if Osprey doesn't have it, go ahead and give Osprey inspiration for that. That's cool. Then there's another family. This is a younger family, and actually, it's a lad who looks like he's about 20, and his wife, and they had reported a string of pearls that was missing, and so when they come in, and if you have the pearls, they will identify, yes, those are the pearls that were stolen. The two of them talk to each other, and the woman shakes her head, and the man kind of looks at the floor for a moment, and then he nods, and he turns back to you, and he says, tell me, what became of those who sacked this town? Did you pay them back in blood for the damage they did to Greenest?
I'll raise up a bone and say, hey!
And the woman winces a little bit and withdraws, and she kind of withdraws protectively to her husband, and he puts an arm around her protectively. And
it's on her head, not sure if she understands. What's the big issue?
He scans the faces of the more normal folk, and with his question still hanging in the air.
We did our best. Many have perished, but many have fled.
Hmm.
And
Well,
when I say that, I hand him the string of pearls. And I said, here, this is the least we can do to alleviate your pain.
He holds out his palm, and he shakes his head. He says, no, you don't understand. Those pearls belonged to my mother. She was killed in the fighting, and she has been buried. If those vermin are still out there, then I want you to keep those pearls as a blood price. I want you to get revenge for my mother's death on those who orchestrated this assault on this town. Keep that as a reward. And if you can, when you have slain them, send word. And I will be happy that those pearls belong to someone who truly deserves them.
That'd be our honor, sir, to do that for you. We got a few bones to pick with them ourselves.
Yes. I'm sure you do. Well, they have caused enough hurt and pain. It will be good to see them smote and driven from the land for good.
If that is what you want, we will do our best.
And his wife looks up at you, and she's got tears in her eyes, and she says, yes. His mother will never get to meet her grandchild. And she pats her belly. she's not showing, but she must know that she's got a baby on the way. And she says, "It was my fondest wish that she would be able to see her grandchild. But since that has been taken from her, all I want is for those who cause this destruction to burn and suffer and die horribly. Just as so many in this town died." And she turns and buries her head and balls into her husband's chest.
Bubble turned to herself and said, "Huh, cooking kobolds alive would be fantastic." As she goes off and thinks about it, you can tell that she's not listening to anything anymore.
So
Okay.
I said before I turn, I say to them, "I'm sorry for your loss, and I hope that next time we meet, it is on much happier and a
Yes.
more joyous occasion."
And he nods. He says, "Yes." And then he looks across at you all, and his eyes come to rest on come on. His eyes come to rest on Brock. And he says, "Sir," he says, "what is your name?"
Name's Brock.
And he squeezes his wife's shoulder and he says, "Brock, that's a good name. That's a good name. If my wife gives me a son, I will call her Brock, after the heroes that have helped to get vengeance for our city."
You honor me.
And she's still sobbing and sniffling, and they take their leave, and he goes off with her.
What did you say their last name was? You didn't say their last name, did you?
No, I didn't. They're
It was Lesnar.
I should have saw that coming. God damn it.
Oh gosh. Okay, and the chat room groans from the bad pop culture reference. Okay. All right. So there's a dinner, and it's not any kind of celebratory dinner. It's more of a planning dinner. The town has sent out scouts, and some of them have come back, and there have been communications with other towns, and indeed they had figured out before you came back that the attacks leading up to Greenest had all come from the south. So it looks like they probably came out of Amn, which is the kingdom to the south of Greenfields, and they're making their way north. And there are a number of people that are backtracking the tracks of wagon trains, trying to figure out where they came from. But so far, those just keep going south. Now that they have an idea that they're headed to Baragast, they're starting to think what they might want to do in terms of sending someone after the cultists, or whether they would want to rouse the militia from someplace like Baldur's Gate or Elturel, or even Waterdeep, and try to send a larger force out after these wagons. And they look to you and they say, well, you all were in the camp. So at their strength, what would you estimate their total strength would be?
I'm looking through my notes. I know that there were a bunch that were killed just recently, about 80 to 150.
Okay.
I venture to guess 80 to 150 humanoid camp when we first scouted it.
Okay. And then the priest is there, Brother Falcon Moon is there, and he says, when we rounded up the bodies and burned them, we estimate there were perhaps 40. So maybe as many as 100 have gone on. So that's still a fairly sizable force.
Also, it is known that this is not the only group of them. Therefore, they may meet another group.
Oh, now that is news to them. They didn't seem to realize that was something going on. Oh, where else have you heard tell of them, Osprey?
They speak among themselves about the others.
Oh, okay. Well then, seems like we might need to send some rangers out to scout the lands. Someone perhaps to alert the druids so that the birds and the beasts of the field can keep eyes for destruction that would be caused by these groups, and maybe send word also to the major cities so that the messages can go out to all the towns and find out if there have been any other attacks in other parts of the Sword Coast that we have not yet been made aware of. At least that would help us get an idea of where they've been. This map that you brought back, that is wonderful. May we keep it and perhaps send it on to one of the major cities for part of the planning of the war effort.
Yeah, of course. That sounds all right with us.
Oh, wonderful. All right. Well, you all have done admirable, as usual. In the morning, I shall have to find some recompense for you to see if we can pay you, and then we will have to have some counsel of where to go next. And the so you all are shown to rooms in the keep. They are barracks, but there are clean beds with real mattresses, and safely within the walls. It's comfortable. There's decent food. There are quality privies with nice little facilities in there. There are copper tubs to bathe in with hot water if anybody needs to bathe. There's all sorts of, there's soaps and some perfumes or colognes that one can put on after one is clean so they don't stink like the road anymore.
Was Night Hill governor or guard?
He is governor.
He's governor. Okay.
Yeah, his title is governor. He's kind of like the mayor here in Greenest.
Right. So the captain, what was the captain of the guard's name?
Escobar.
That's Escobar.
He's a dwarf. Yeah,
and
he's
Escobar is there or not there?
Yeah, he's around.
Okay. Mr. Escobar. May I ask you a
Oh,
small
yes.
thing? Only
Yes,
a
of
small
course.
thing.
Well, I'm a dwarf, but don't insult me.
No. It is only a small favor I ask for someone. A quarterstaff.
Oh, well, yes, we could round up one of those, I'm sure. Plenty of those around. I'll have someone fetch one and bring it to you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. And he goes off, and a few minutes later, a person who's probably one of the guards from the keep will come and find you and brings you a very nice, a good quality, serviceable, but nothing fancy about it quarterstaff.
Osprey weighs it, figures out that it's good quality.
Yeah, it's well balanced. It's nice and straight. It's something that they would probably use as an actual weapon, not something that they would use as a practice weapon.
Exactly.
So it's military quality.
This is perfect. Thank you very much.
He says, "Yes, sir. Good night."
What time of night is it?
Let's say it's maybe a couple of hours before midnight by this time. The moon is up. Stars have started to splatter in the sky.
Osprey has a short mission to run in the morning.
Okay. Anybody else want to do anything tonight, or can we go to sunrise? All right. You have all... you wake up. It is now Tarsak the 6th. And there, as you awaken, as most of you awaken, if you do either at sunrise or shortly before or shortly thereafter, the odor of cooking bacon and eggs and other breakfast materials wafts through the barracks there. So somebody in the kitchens in the keep is preparing breakfast for the soldiers. Osprey said there was something he wanted to do in the morning, so
Yes.
we can talk to him about that, and then I will check if there's anything that anybody else wants to do. So Osprey,
He takes
would you
the
like to do,
staff
sir?
and he goes toward the east. Then the man came out.
Okay.
She had a broken quarterstaff.
Yes, let me go move. For the purposes of this, I will move our map over here.
The woman, the man, and the kid, I believe. One?
Yes, it was right here.
Yeah. Okay.
This house here. You can see that It's just been a few days, but you can see that a lot of the burned timbers have been cut away. And there are some oiled, large sewn together oiled skins have been draped over part of it to try to keep the water out from where maybe there's been damage to the roof or the other structures. And there are some tools and sawhorses set up and some lumber. It's got the smell of freshly cut lumber. So you can tell that they're not wasting any time. They're already getting back into the business of trying to get this rebuilt. So you go and you knock. You tell me what you do.
Are they outside working or inside?
The husband appears to be outside. Doing some work, and at least one of the kids is out there. You do not see the wife, but as you approach the house, it, along with most of the other houses, there's the smell of either currently cooking or recently cooked breakfast that is sort of playing through the street.
Osprey nods appreciatively at the men. I see you get better very quickly.
And he looks over at you. He says, "Oh, hero, how are you? We are. Yes, we're trying to get back to trying to get the house repaired as quickly as we can. The crops won't grow themselves. I'll have to go tend to them. But I need to make sure that Linan and the children have a roof over their heads. I have some friends coming over later to help with the work. Please excuse the mess."
Mess is a good sign. You are doing well. How is your leg?
It's actually much better. That I'm not. I'm sad to admit that I haven't always been the most faithful man, but that brother Falcon Moon, he's quite a nice chap. He actually had one of his acolytes heal up my leg. Pronounced a little bit of healing from Shantae, and my leg feels good as new.
Ah.
And he sort of dances around a little bit, and you can see that he doesn't even have a limp anymore.
Very good. I have gifts for Linan.
Oh. Yes?
He just shows the stuff.
Oh, that is so thoughtful. Linan, darling, Linan, come outside, please. Someone has come for you. And you hear this kind of musical voice from inside. "All right, dear, I'll be right there." And she comes out, and as she does, she's sort of drying her hands on her apron. And she says, "Oh, hero, it's you. Fancy seeing you." And she walks over next to her husband and puts her hand on his shoulder, and he puts an arm around her waist. "How can we help you?"
I am here to give you a small token. It is my job as member of a certain group to bring good things for good people.
Oh,
You, when we got here, were very brave, defending your husband and children with a broken quarterstaff.
oh, well, I owe all the skill I have to my cuff here, and she ruffles her husband's hair and gives him a little kiss on the cheek. Um, he taught me how to properly hold a weapon when we were first courting.
Well, then, you should have a proper weapon. Although I hope that you will never have to raise it again.
Oh, gods no! I hope I never have to. If I never see another kobold, it won't be too soon.
I know feeling very well.
And you hold out the quarterstaff to her,
Holds up the quarterstaff. Slight bow.
and she kind of puts her hands to her chest, and she kind of gets this surprised look on her face, and she looks at her husband, and her husband just sort of beams with pride and smiles at her and nods his head, and she reaches out a hand and she takes it, and she holds it in her hands, and kind of looks at it appreciatively, and then she looks back up to you and she gives you a little curtsy while she's holding the staff. She says, "Oh, thank you, my lord. Thank you. This is very kind. I appreciate it very much. And this whole episode has taught me something. Cuth has mentioned once or twice that perhaps we should train the children in how to defend themselves, and I have always resisted that. I want my children to grow up in a safe town where they don't need to pick up weapons. But after seeing that dragon overhead and after those awful creatures attacked, I think maybe we do owe it to them to be able to defend themselves should they ever find themselves in such peril again."
Okay. Maybe start with those slings.
Yes. That would be good for them. And her husband squeezes her shoulders and says, "Oh, I think little Ran is almost big enough that he could start hunting rabbits with the slings, if you don't mind." And she says, "Oh no, he loves the bunnies. He'll have to get a little bit older before he realizes that they are more than merely cute, fluffy things. I think it would hurt him if he had to kill one just yet. I think he can wait a year or two for that. But we can set up some targets for him to practice with. Yes, we can set up some things. Maybe some old chipped mugs. Let him practice slinging stones at those. He will enjoy being able to break things without getting yelled at." And the two of them chuckle.
Very good. Thank you. May fortune favor you.
Oh, thank you, sir. And may the gods bless your travels. Keep you safe. And they both wave to you as you take your leave.
Yeah. So Osprey returns late per breakfast.
Okay. Anybody else have anything that they want to do?
Yeah,
Particularly?
Murek's going to ask Escobar. The other day, I was able to acquire some incense, some charcoal, some herbs. It's got to be very fine incense, worth about 10 gold pieces altogether. I was wondering if, last night when I was taking my bath, I smelled lots of nice scents and stuff. And I was wondering if you could help me procure about 20 gold pieces worth of charcoal, incense, and herbs.
Oh, why? Yes, of course. Yes, of course. And he says, "Give me a moment, and I will write out a requisition for you that you can take to one of the shops." And so he will come back a few minutes later, and he has this little folded over piece of parchment, and it's got the seal of his signet ring as the castellan of the keep on it, and he says, "Now, if you take this over to Harold's herb shop, you will find all of the materials that you need, and just give him this, and he will give you the materials that you need up to 25 gold pieces worth."
Okay. So I'd like to head over there and purchase those supplies, 20 gold pieces worth.
Okay, you go there and you get them, and unless there's anything special other than those herbs you were looking for and the materials, the components that you need for your spell, we'll just say that you have those.
Okay. Now, I'm paying for that, right? Or did Escobar pay for that? Escobar.
Yeah, if you give the shopkeeper that paper, basically the keep will pay.
Okay.
The keep will pay him up to 25 gold for the materials that you get from him.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. So I go and I do that, and that's all I need to do.
Okay. Well, back in the keep, there's a grand hall for the breakfast, and a lot of the soldiers are there, and some of the usual suspects are there dining with you as well. And Governor Nighthill, in the middle of the breakfast, he suddenly sits up as though he was startled by something. And you can see he looks like he's looking at something far away and concentrating on something. And then he nods his head, and he kind of moves his lips a little bit. You can't understand what he's saying, but his lips move a little bit as though he's talking to himself. And then he smiles, and he looks at you, and he says, "Oh, well, I have just heard from an associate. Do you all remember Liason Erlantar?
See the monk?
The monk that you all rescued from the..."
Yes, I remember.
"Yes, well, he and his party have made incredibly swift time. They are already in Elturel, and they have met up with another mutual friend of ours, a paladin named Onthar Froom. And Onthar has said that you all should come and join he and Eliason in Elturel. They are gathering more reports of more activities by the cult, and they are beginning to put plans together for a coordinated assault on this cult. They would like your insights from what you have seen, and they probably have some useful information for you.
What was the location again?
The city of Elturel. So, if we go to our map here, I think this is the map. Okay. You guys right now are here in Greenest, and Elturel is up here to the north. So you go kind of straight north across the green fields, skirting around the eastern edge of the Wood of Sharp Teeth, and that will take you to Elturel. And you all remember the impressive thing about Elturel as you approached it, and then while you are there is this incredible orb of radiant light that hovers something like 500 to 1,000 feet above the city, and it just shines over the city day and night. And it shines out with radiant light, which means that it keeps the undead from the fields of the dead at bay. They will not go anywhere close to Elturel, because that radiant light will actually do physical damage to them.
Is our caravan still in Greenest?
No. What is left of your caravan has gone on to finish up its route that it was supposed to do, and yeah, so it has gone on, and I think somehow I screwed something up with the size of this map at some point. Yeah, there we go. I screwed up something there. Okay, so, yeah, it was heading to Nashkel after Greenest, so it has gone on towards Nashkel, and then it will be going to Baragos Candlekeep, and then back on up to Baldur's Gate.
If we
You're
go,
not.
go ahead.
Yeah, you guys are not sure whether the caravan company would consider you all lost, or consider you
AWOL.
They probably wouldn't, because the people in Greenest treat you guys kind of like heroes. So they may have realized that you all got hired by the folks of Greenest to do something that would pay better than caravan work. And, that's kind of like the life of being on a caravan. You hire people to help out, and it's a wage, but adventuring, if you survive, pays a lot better. And after the attack on Greenest, there were probably a few people that were left homeless, and so there might well have been a few able-bodied men that were like, "Oh, you guys need people to be on the caravan as guards? Give me a pitchfork or a spear or something, and I can do in a pinch." And if they go the whole route, well, that'll be enough money to help them at least rebuild when they get back to Greenest.
Does Greenest have an abundance of horses by chance?
That's what I was thinking. Gotta go a long ways.
Actually, it seems that part of the message from Elturel sort of anticipated that, and Governor Nighthill says, "Oh yes, so we can outfit you with horses. There are fine stables in Elturel, and there's trade that goes around. We will send someone up to Elturel at some point and either bring our horses back or get horses from there to bring back in the future. But they will tell you that it's around 200 miles to the north across. Let's see. Let me just double check if I did this scale correctly. Yeah, I did. Okay, it's not quite 200 miles north to Elturel. It's about 165 miles north. If you go straight across the plains, and the plains of Elturgard are relatively safe. I mean, you do have to watch out. There's there's occasional groups of bandits out there, and there's some monstrous humanoids that make their home in the Wood of Sharp Teeth. So maybe if you give that a little bit of a wide berth. But it should be a fairly safe trip, and it will probably take you a 10-day to get there.
I forgot where did we start in this campaign? Was it Baldur's Gate?
You guys started at Baldur's Gate. Took you 30 days to get to Greenest, and now it's been like 4 or 5 days since you've been there. Actually, wait a second. What is the thing? So I'm gonna call it just 170 for round numbers. Let me see. 70 divided by okay, so it won't quite take you 10 days. It'll take you 7 days at a regular pace with the horses to get there. If you push the horses, you can make it in probably 5 days. And pushing the horses, that would mean that after the 3rd day, you would have to start making constitution checks for the horses, and they would have to go at a walking pace.
Could we just
for
push
a
them
day
for
to recover?
And then just coast?
You could, yeah.
Would that chop off?
So that would cut the difference in half. It would take then 6 days instead of 7 days.
Okay.
To get there. Yeah.
Do we need to go up there, or?
Yes, I do. I'm in. I looked to Brock and others. I'm going.
Our caravans abandoned us, so I mean, this is the next piece of work we have offered, right?
Yeah, and you guys have, with the gold that you've received from Governor Nighthill already, and the loot that you have, each one of you has earned more than you would earn, doing the whole caravan guard thing already. So, yeah,
We got paid half up front, which we did pretty much exactly half the work, so it works out.
yeah.
Although for us, Bay, this was originally a way to get to a race.
Yeah. Well, now certainly
I think the race is over.
Certainly for Fallager, and for Osprey and for any of the other characters, there is no requirement that you guys go to Elturel. The the people coordinating a defense or a counterattack against the cult appear to be gathering in Elturel. But you all don't have to go there. You can.
Hey guys, remember that young couple that gave us the pearl necklace from the mother that died? And I think we made at least some of us made a promise that we would avenge their mother's death. I, for one, need some payback, so I'm going north. I'd hope all the rest of you would join me. I think we work well together. I'd hate to see you guys leave. Do something different.
I mean, doesn't seem like we're going to be able to avoid this cult. I think they kind of spread their houses' influence, you know what I mean? So I bet we can't help but run into them in the future.
And the governor will nod, and he says, "Yes, friend. I think those are wise words. I certainly hope we have seen the last of the cult here in Greenest, but I'm going to make sure that the guards are on high alert. It'll be a long time before I let them go back to normal shifts. They will be on alert until we know that this cult has been dealt with, and that their leadership has been rounded up and punished for their wickedness."
Strength in numbers, guys. I say we head up there. Take these guys out before they become too strong to be dealt with.
All right, so question then to the party is going to be, let's see. Okay. Going to be if everybody is going to head off with Mulek, or if anybody absolutely wants to do something different.
I mean, we feel like we need to go north, right? That's kind of like where everybody went. That's what's about the litter, right?
Yep. The letter actually mentioned let's see, the letter
It said near Tar.
Nertar, yes. And the map, there was an indication on that map. So let me go back to this, and we will see the here. Oh, an arrow is sketched in from the green fields toward the west and the town of Baragast. So the arrow points. Yes, the arrow points over here. And the resistance is meeting up here.
And then we found in the treasure or whatever, it said everything must be freighted
North to some place called Nertar.
Yeah, north.
Everybody can give me a Okay, everybody can give me a history check. Does anybody have cartographer's tools that has studied map making? If you have cartographer's tools in your inventory, you'll get advantage on this.
Mm-mm.
I don't,
Okay.
but I rolled a 23.
Okay.
What are we rolling?
History check. Okay. Have a couple of good rolls there. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to say yes. Images. Yes. Nertar, you guys know that Nertar is north between those of you that are 20 or above. It's a settlement that is north of Waterdeep, and it is to the east of Tribor. So you have to go all the way from Baldur's Gate up to Waterdeep. And then beyond Waterdeep, head up on the road like you're heading towards Neverwinter. But when you pass, or when you get to Tribor, instead of staying on the road and going back west to get towards Neverwinter, you would go east to get to Naertar.
So I guess my question would be, based on the map we found at the cultist camp that said they were headed to Baragost, that would tell us that they are west of us and not north, or they wouldn't have gotten as.
Yes. Now the what you guys can deduce from your own experience, what you guys can deduce is that Baragost is a town that is on the major north-south trade route, and that road also passes through Baldur's Gate, and that Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter are major hubs of commerce. So if they were trying to get a large amount of goods north, then it stands to reason that would be, those two cities would be logical places to somehow go. Maybe they have people that are allied with the cult in those cities, and can make it look like their wagons are just part of a normal caravan, or who knows? There could be lots of things, but.
And would they have to pass through Elturel, close to Elturel, to go up towards Waterdeep?
Actually, they would, because the trade route doesn't go directly north from Baldur's Gate. It travels east past Fort Morninglord and past Elturel over to the Tradeway, and then heads back north from there.
Okay. So it looks like we could, these guys definitely headed towards Baragost and up north. We could catch them before they pass through Elturel to head up towards Nertar. Maybe they've got some kind of plan up north that could help take these guys.
Mm-hmm. And you also know from your map, which you're looking at here, this is kind of a map that you all received when you left Baldur's Gate. You know that the caravan route that you're on is nearly a 2-month route. It's 54 days from Baldur's Gate back to Baldur's Gate. You got here to Greenest on day 30. Following the pace and the route of the caravan, it would be another 24 days to get to Baldur's Gate. So if you got to Elturel in 6 days, you would be to Elturel probably before the cult gets to Baldur's Gate, if they are indeed headed up that trade route. So, then once you meet up with potential allies in Elturel, you guys can decide what to do from there. So you have a number of options if you go that way. Or, of course, you could just take off trying to chase down the wagons and hope that the 6 of you can
take on 100.
Can kill all 100 cultists.
If I were the enemy, I wouldn't go west and up to Baldur's Gate, nor would I go north to Elturel. I'd go through the Wood of Sharp Teeth.
But ultimately, they need to head north. So
yeah, directly north. It's a pretty decent space between the settlements.
Yeah.
Wood of Sharp Teeth with full wagons?
No, they don't have wagons, do they?
Yeah, the cultists.
Yeah, they do.
They have the treasure.
Yeah. There were the big laden wagons that they had at Greenest, where they were throwing all the treasure that they stole from that town on. And there were more wagons at that camp that not only had the treasure from Greenest, but the treasure from the towns in the south that they had gotten.
Well, then if they're traveling in a caravan, we would know for sure that they went west, right?
If they followed the road, the only 2 ways to go from there would be either west towards Baragast and up to Baldur's Gate, or east towards, back through Greenest and Burdusk and up through Scornubel and on up the Tradeway, that way.
There must be a convergence at this settlement. Because why go to here in order to bring things to that settlement up there? This is many hubs on a spike. Spikes on a hub. Hubs on a spike. That'll be interesting. An accidental cable project, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think we can, gather that they've been traveling from the south of the.
Only these one. These are small fish. Also, They only had little gold in personal possessions, meaning that they raised this group from this area.
So we basically have 2 choices. We go north and get with the resistance to have the numbers to protect Baldur's Gate in time. But in doing so, we're going to let these towns to the west fall to their liking, or we chase them to the west with just us.
Well, we don't know that they're attacking Baldur's Gate.
Little villages, maybe.
Yeah. Nashkel is a walled small city. Baragast is a pretty fair-sized city, and Candlekeep is a world-famous, or at least famous all across the Sword Coast, library/monastery that is fervently defended by an entire order of very militaristic monks. And so it's doubtful that a group would necessarily attack either Nashkel or Baragast, and certainly if they are headed towards Baldur's Gate, there's no reason they would go to Candlekeep. Your caravan was headed to Candlekeep to trade with the monks. And then Baldur's Gate, of course, is a big metropolis. So based on Brock's analysis, everybody give me an intelligence check.
Well, and we could assume that Leeson is in.
Is that included?
Yeah, that's all of you guys.
Also, Baldur's Gate is under protection of Boo.
Jeez. That's from my wizard skills.
Yeah, Brock is clearly thinking about military. Mulek is distracted, thinking about how much he's going to get by selling that Roper digestive juices. But Bell has perhaps a flash of insight that maybe comes from actually having consumed part of her enemies.
Don't give her superpowers for that. Don't give her superpowers for that. Is this
Bell,
Highlander?
yeah, Bell, you actually presume that the kobolds, if they are going, if these wagons are going on the roads, then probably the kobolds would not travel with the wagons. The kobolds would probably shadow the wagons off of the road and, stay out of the towns themselves. And the wagons, if they have humans on them, they might just be like, they might be able to disguise themselves as a group of traders bound for Baldur's Gate or wherever, and just go in and, spend the night in an inn like any other group of travelers, and not necessarily, go in burning and pillaging and everything. Depending on what their purpose is, it would seem with a group the size that they are, that would probably be kind of a fool's errand to attack a town the size of Nashkel. Certainly would be foolish to attack Baragast, and they would just get slaughtered if they tried to attack Baldur's Gate. With the number of military forces that there are there in that city.
Well, if they're traveling through the towns alone without their fodder, maybe we sneak in behind them and assassinate them inside the cities.
I do not think these are the main enemies.
I don't think we know the whole story. Wave.
Well, before we kill the last one, maybe we can do some interrogation, find out where they're going exactly.
And Governor Nighthill is sitting there kind of listening to all of these discussions, and he says, friends, your courage is admirable, and your desire to see the towns avenged for the damage that these cultists have done is admirable. If I know Onthar Froom is an old tactician with a great deal of experience in all manner of battles waged with a frontal assault and battles waged through subterfuge and stealth. I think meeting with him and getting his counsel might give you some insights into the best way of handling this cult. I would urge you to make for Elturel, but Of course, in the end, the decision is yours.
Does Osprey know this paladin?
I don't know. Is he somebody that's in your backstory?
No, but it sounds like he's big. That's where I'm coming from. It kind of depend on what
Oh, okay.
situational. Because I mean, Osprey is a paladin, but he's not even trained on the way usual prime material plane people are. So
Right.
so it's like there's a connection, but then if it's under here, then he would probably, because it's a guy of notoriety.
Okay. Give me a history check, because this guy is someone who might have a reputation, and it's just a matter of whether you would have. Okay. Yes, you have heard of Ontharr Froom. You know by reputation, he is a paladin of Torm, the god of heroics and bravery. He is accounted to be good-natured, but he is also a man of action who loves jokes and pranks, a stiff drink, and a friendly scuffle. However, that reputation also masks, for those that don't know him like you have heard, his brilliant tactical mind. He has won many decisive battles in the name of Torm and in defense of justice in the face of great evil. Sometimes overcoming being outnumbered, quite severely in order to win. So he's somebody who understands and can execute really good military plans, but if he's able to, he really enjoys just having a good time.
Oh yeah.
When he gets the chance.
Sounds like my kind of man.
Yeah, Brockson, I think you like him. He sounds a lot like my fighter. Except probably not dumb as a rock. Yeah, he makes smart moves. He is Torm, but cool-headed, but smart. Torm, not always smart people. This guy's smart people.
Well, if he says we go north, I guess we go north then. Yeah.
Let's go north.
Okay. Well then, they will get you outfitted with horses, and very quickly before we end for the night, you all ride swiftly for 3 days, and then let your horses go at a more leisurely rate for the next 3 days. And it's not long after you start out on the morning of the 6th day that you see what looks like a second sun hanging in the sky just above the horizon. And as you get closer during the day, you come towards the river Chianthar, and there sits the city of Elturel with this big glowing orb hovering above it. And that is where we will end for the night. And next time we will pick up with you guys meeting Ontharr Froom. And just for those of you that are in fact keeping records, This is going to be Tarsak the 12th when you reach Elturel. Okay. Hey, thank you, chat room, for hanging out tonight. Appreciate you sitting with us as we played our game. Players, anything that you have going on that you want chat to know about in the next week?
I got nothing exciting. Sorry, boring little me.
All right. Well, for those of you that have the time available on Sunday afternoons at 2:00, we will be getting together with several of these same players, in fact, and a few other players, and we will be doing our Walker of Waterdeep campaign. And they are in the middle of, well, not in the middle. They're kind of towards the end of a big battle there. Just so you guys know, I know that battle felt like it's a long battle, and it kind of is a long battle because it took a whole 4-hour session, and we're still going with the battle.
First, so yeah.
But the one of the other shows that I listen to, they do 3-hour sessions, and they had a battle that took up the entirety of 3 full sessions and spilled over into a 4th session before they finally ended it.
Wow.
So it's like it's not the longest D&D battle that I have that I am aware of. So, but there's a lot of dice rolling going on right now. And then we will see what they discover when they finally get to the end of that battle, or what happens to them by the end of that battle. All right. Well, chat, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Thank you again for hanging out, and we will talk to you next Thursday, if not before. Oh, yes, one other thing before I go. You guys will see on the just kind of the slate that I have up on my Twitch channel when we're not streaming. It has all the information about the other areas where I am. I do D&D related content 7 days a week on my YouTube channel. And this week, because it's the start of a new month, I've kind of changed up my approach of how I do some of the content. I'm still doing the same elements every week, but I've started to mix it up a little bit, beginning with Monster Monday a few nights ago on Monday night. So now Arcane Wednesday and Divine Thursday. If you go and look at the spells that I've done, there's a little bit of a different format for those, and you'll see that carry over on Lore Friday, Combat Saturday, and Skills on Sunday, where everything is done slightly differently. I'm going to see how that goes and see if there's any feedback. So hope you guys enjoy it. Subscribe over there on the YouTube channel. Follow and share the videos if you like them. All right. Talk to you all later. Take care. Oh, and Drats. No. To answer your question, no. A party team of 3 that is level 6 cannot take on a Tarrasque.
Well, it's technically possible. It just won't last long.
Yes. You're correct, Vernon. They could take on a Tarrasque. They could choose to do so.
Player choice.
But they would not be terribly successful.
But it wouldn't be boring.
That's true. It wouldn't be boring, and it would be quick. All right. Good night, everybody.